It's no secret what a positive mindset inside the gym inside your life does for you, is it? Right? I don't even have to explain it. I'm sure there are people who could explain it even better than I do. I've had my own experiences with positivity and its power, positivity being a weapon. I've noticed over time that I've gone from being super haterish and negative about a lot of processes to seeing how just having a mindset of positivity is the catalyst for change going forward. And I've seen how that affects a lot of other people, not just me. It's what I take pride in doing every day, every week at the gym. Somebody I met in 2012, 13, named Deshaun. He was the first person I saw inside the gym alone where he practiced positivity, and it changed his entire outlook, his physical life, his eating, and it became something that he got to use positively in the future and started a family with, in fact. He had everything going against himself, right? He wasn't the biggest dude. He was kind of a nondescript looking guy, about 5'9". I think he was about 185 pounds, wanted to get down to like sub 14% body fat. So how do we do it? We work out hard, we stay consistent, we change the eating, we do all those trite things, right? But Deshaun had a lot of other baggage. Now, that's not a judgment. A lot of us do. Some of us notice it and are able to correct it right away. Most of us, however, are not even aware of it, and more still, don't want to correct it. He was aware of it, right? Whatever level you're in, that's fine, right? No judgment. But what we do in the gym is, hey, we get to the bottom of that. But this guy, man, he had 2 family members, a best friend, passed away early in his life. He had a relationship that was where he was trying to start a family, doing it unsuccessfully, right, for many months. And I can tell you, as a woman, that must be beyond heartbreaking, right? But for the husband or the boyfriend who is involved in that pregnancy not happening, that could even be nearly as crushing, right? Just from a confidence standpoint. He was avid smoker, kind of down on himself all the time. All of these things. But one thing I remember about Deshaun was how positive he was despite all the crap he told me about he had holding him back. Every time. He would come in the gym and me, not being a man of platitudes, would say, "What's going on, my friend?" Deshaun would say, "What's going on, Johan?" Just chin up, just like that. What's going on, with that nice inflection that says, "I'm ready for it." And when I would instruct that he maybe get off the paleo, get off the keto, and try something different so that he can actually have energy to do the freaking bench presses that he wanted to do, the overhead presses that he had never done, to build his confidence, as he put it, right? I said, hey, we have to get you off of those bad diets and actually get you something that works. What do we do? And he would clench up his jaw, right? Screw his face into this vortex. He would stop, he'd look at me and be like super annoyed and just be like, okay, what can we do? And I could tell his instinct was to do none of that. Sometimes I'd catch Deshaun smoking cigarettes, right outside the gym, multiple times, right? Or he'd tell me about a weekend where he went a little bit too hard on the beers. All of this was reinforcing this negative defeatism that he had in his life. And he's having trouble starting a family. But my friend used that positivity as a weapon. My guy decided that instead of carrying on the same narrative that was getting him to where he was and potentially preventing him from starting the family that they wanted to start, he was always thinking ahead. Hated his job, even though he was real good at it, really heavily paid. He had those heavy pockets. He would think, I'm gonna do even more hobbies on the side. I'm gonna call out my job for the things that I feel like they're infringing upon me personally, but do my job real well. Deshaun would, he, like I said, kept up many hobbies. He would always keep track of his goals with me, even though he wasn't like that in his life. With me, he would stretch, and I could see him stretch. How did we do last week? What do we got to do to get there? What should I do in my off time? All this, so that he could overhead press more than he ever had before to build his confidence. And every time I could see the deluge of negativity wanting to seep through, right, which were his old habits, the things that he did nothing about for most of his adult life. Sometimes he had a reason to. He fought them, and he spun them into positivity. He countered it with positivity, and I saw him grow into a guy who eventually overhead pressed close to 200 pounds, dropped down to like 13% body fat, lost a bunch of weight, all this, and yes, started a big family. It's an interesting thing to see a dude who was so down in the dumps about stuff, refused to let go of old negative habits, not necessarily wholly by choice, but maybe by design, right? Maybe subconsciously. Didn't want to turn that corner, kept working at it, not being able to have kids, to using positivity, promoting himself, positive self-thought and talk, into someone who's now a father of many children. And that right there illustrated to me that something for me too was also possible going forward. It was this: counter all the negative bullshit you have into positive stuff. And what I mean is, never have a fuck it workout. Never have the workout where you're like, hey, right? Or your meals where you're like, I botched yesterday or the day before, fuck it. I'm gonna eat or do whatever I want going forward. That's the old. The positive is the moment of clarity. I can do better. Okay, that's cool, but that ain't me. Okay, I did that wrong. Let me try something different. Into, hey, I can get this done. And success. Let the positivity, right, that you employ be the change factor and bring you into the present moment. You need other tips on how to change your habits and to get stronger, right? To change your meals, go to the website, go to Run the Change on Facebook, right? I have plenty more for you. And until then, stay up.